Hello everyone, it is 8 o'clock and I am here to get ready to get started, share a little bit with you on my journey. Mindy asked me if I could share some of my experiences with you, so I am so excited and completely flattered for the opportunity because Mindy actually was one of the coaches that I saw on one of my first trainings through Diesel Nation that opened up so many new understandings of what it meant to be a coach and who could be a coach and what coaches look like and where we come from and how we help each other. So I've never gotten the chance to thank Mindy, but seriously, so much of what she has shared so transparently and openly has inspired me. So I am hoping that I would be able to share with you guys. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes and see if anybody does jump on. If there is anybody that comes on, I'd love for you to give me some hearts and some thumbs up and just let me know that you're here. I don't know anybody personally here in this group, so I'm kind of hoping that we can make friends and that we can get to know each other as well, as sister coaches, as people who are sharing an amazing journey together. Let's see, it says, want to know who's watching the video, swipe left. Let's see if I can get that. It's not showing me. So I see that there are some eyes, but I don't know yet if anybody's on here. So if you're in, just drop in and say hello to me and let me know that you're here so I can kind of, hello Charlie, I see you so much. Hoping that the reception and everything is good and video is good. And if, let's see, it's 8:03. If you want to just hang on for a few minutes, let's see if anybody else comes on before I go ahead and get started. Again, I am here to share a little bit with you guys about why I am a Beachbody coach, diamond coach, and how long it took me to get there. Actually, that was probably the biggest thing for me, was learning that it was okay that the journey that I was on wasn't necessarily the journey that everybody else was on, and I still have to become comfortable with that in a lot of ways, but for a long time it was taking me so long to build something that I kind of thought maybe this wasn't for me, but I refused to give up, and I still want to continue to see how far I can take this. Thanks, Charlie. So let me go ahead and just open up with an introduction. My name is Melissa Pfeiffer Hermann, as you have seen on the post. I am 39 years old. I'll be 40 in a couple of weeks. I have a 23-year-old daughter named Karma, and I have a 6-year-old daughter named Selah. I have an amazing husband I've been married to since 2009, so I guess it's almost 8 years. And I came from a pretty rough background, but I kind of pulled myself together. I was a teenage mom, 16 years old, kind of grew up in a kind of poor area in a community where I thought money was not for me. And I had some strange beliefs about income and money and class and those kinds of things. So it was always a weird kind of feeling. I was usually on the pudgy side, and I did a lot of fad diets probably since I started hitting puberty, maybe even a little before. And I struggled with weight and being, the fat kid. Pudgy, thick, I never thought of myself as being able to have an athletic body or to be able to, look like some of the, what I thought maybe were the prettier girls. So I kind of went with the hard, edgy thing, and I kind of started to want to make a name for myself like that. I have a twin sister, an identical twin sister, who has also struggled with weight. And I'm still working on trying to get her into Beachbody. But I became a mom old. I was 15 years old when I was pregnant. I was 16 when I had my daughter Karma, and I dropped out of high school and started college. And amazingly, I wound up going to school and becoming a teacher. So that was ironic. I worked with dropout prevention kids, and I kind of put my life together and formed it in what it could be, and I kind of saw myself as a survivor. From there, I became a union president of the teachers union, and I used some of that edginess to kind of keep me going. Then just 4 years ago, I became a staff person for the union. So I am a business agent, advocate for teachers union and support staff, and I negotiate contracts and work with labor unions and that kind of stuff. And 2 years ago, my friend Kara introduced me to Beachbody. So that brings me back to 2015, and I had had my second daughter. I was probably 5 pounds more than I had been when I was at 9 months pregnant. So my daughter was then 3 years old, 4 years old going on, and I had put on so much weight. I was at 170 pounds, and I'm only 5 foot tall. My hips hurt. I kind of thought it was the end for me in my body, and that this was what aging looked like. And having a kid now, started with my first kid at 16, my second when I was in my early 30s, and that's kind of the end, and I was going to be going downhill from there. And unfortunately, I had believed that for a little too long, and it really got to me emotionally, psychologically. I would sit in my room and cry. I'd try to put on clothes and I would cry. I lost complete confidence in myself, and I was mad at myself for letting myself get to that point, and then even madder for letting myself continue, but I didn't know what to do. And I had tried Weight Watchers again, and that didn't work, and I had tried, walking and running, and couldn't run, it hurt. So I began to look for clean eating stuff, and I tried clean eating, and I lost 25 pounds from clean eating, and I was happy and excited about that, so confidence started coming back. And at that point, a friend of mine on Facebook, Kara, who was a middle school friend, had begun to encourage me on this journey that I was taking, and I was sharing a little bit of that. And she had decided that she would reach out to me and invited me into a challenge group, and I did an abs group with her, and she did this challenge contest, and I won the challenge contest. I did a plank and took a picture of it with my daughter, and lo and behold, right, she was looking for somebody to help encourage, so she sent me as a prize some Shakeology and a Beachbody Shake-O cup, and I was excited that I'd won. I was impressed with all of these friends in this challenge group, but honestly I was a little disappointed because I thought the Shakeology thing was probably a hoax, but I definitely wanted to try those workout videos that I saw people talking about, because they were like getting these ripped arms and muscles, and I wanted to believe that maybe someday I could get muscles too. But I didn't know. I mean, I'd lost 25 pounds, but I was still very overweight, and I was still very not in the most attractive state. So I finally decided I was just going to reach out to her, and I asked her if that 21-day fix thing that I saw everybody doing might work for me, and she said yes, it definitely would work for me, and talked to me about Shakeology and a challenge pack and how I could get it all together. And I was like, yeah, okay, that Shakeology thing, I don't know, but maybe. And she said, well, here's the discount you get if you get it together, and and you can get a discount coach membership, and you can be a discount coach. And I thought, you just said I could be a coach, and I said one day I might want to be a coach. I could inspire other people, and I'd always wanted to inspire other people like I saw her do, and I was so impressed with her and some of the other coaches that I saw. I thought, I don't think I could do that, but I would like to think that I could do that. So I began to allow myself to believe, which was a huge first step for me. And I got the 21-day fix, and I was in it, and I was doing it, and I started doing my workouts, and I was posting video and pictures of myself, and everybody was commenting and excited and encouraging me. So that was huge. It was such an encouragement. And then my daughter, my 3-year-olds now. She was 21 at the time. She has scoliosis, so she's never been physically fit. She's always had a hard time with any kind of fitness activity, athletic activity. And she was just out of high school, started college, and was eating garbage all the time. And she started to blow up, and her hands would tremble. And I was just so scared for her because I had taught her how to eat like this growing up. And she decided one day she wanted to try my Shakeology. And I said, yeah, you can try it. And she loved it. And so she said, I want some. And I said, you're not going to drink mine. I only get 28 days supply. So I will buy you your own if you do the workouts. So she started doing the workouts. And I started sharing her results. And my mom joins. And then I had some friends of mine that were like, what are you doing? I want to do it. So they just started joining me. And I was more like a hobby coach at that point. I was a discount coach, but people were coming to me. But I was still afraid to share with them because I didn't quite see myself as a coach. And I didn't understand the business, and I didn't understand how to share it with somebody else. So I was scared and I was nervous about it, so I didn't reach out. But when they reached out to me, I was like, okay, well, here's this website, and I guess you just click on this and you can buy it. So they were so eager they did, and some of those coaches are still with me, which is amazing because I was, just a fellow challenger at that point, honestly. And they are, amazing, wonderful friends of mine still. So some of my fears were that, one, I didn't know what somebody else was going to think of me if I started calling myself a coach. I was afraid that somebody would think that I was like kind of, imposing some kind of image. My coach, again, I love her to pieces, but she was a cheerleader, and her friends were all, coaches were all her sorority sisters, and I was a high school dropout teenage mom, right? I didn't have that, so I wanted the confidence that I saw them have, and I wanted the friendship and the bonds, but I still had that old childhood belief that maybe I didn't fit in until I saw Mindy. Mindy, seriously, when you came on and did some video about, where you came from and, who you were, and started using all your swear words. I won't use swear words because I come from a school system, but I do come from union too. So, we cuss, but I won't, I don't by nature try to do it publicly because I have to, censor myself. But when I saw her raw and real, that's when I knew I could fit in. I knew that there was a place for me and that I could attract people like me and people who need what I needed and people who need other things. And then I started to realize that there were some huge similarities between me and my coach friends that were sorority girls and cheerleaders. We all loved each other. We all had a passion to help other people. We all wanted to reach out and be inspiring. We all wanted to conquer our own fears and our own doubts. We all wanted to be survivors of our own trials. And then I started listening, and I realized that they were having trials and that I had judged people wrongly. I had judged. I was so afraid of being judged. I had judged people wrongly and assuming that they had to be perfect because they looked it. And they didn't. I just was judging them that way. They didn't even try to pretend like they were perfect. It was me and my own insecurities. So that was when personal development started coming in, and I really started to lay down in learning who I was and feeling better about it. I didn't want to be seen as salesy. I could not just go in and say, hey girl, I want you to buy this challenge pack from me. That was like a crazy thought to me, and it scared the life out of me to be that kind of person and to lose friends that had respected me and to lose my own credibility. And I was afraid that I was going to lose, my professional credibility. I mean, I bargain contracts for teacher unions and for support staff unions. I work with lawyers. I take lawyers to arbitration and argue against them. And here I'm going to be like, oh yeah, in my sports bra, click, 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 taking a picture of myself. I just thought that I was going to lose professional credibility. And my husband is an administrator in a school system, and what would they think of him, and what would they think of me about that, And I just kind of also felt like I didn't quite fit there yet, but I wanted to. I still wanted to. And then I was afraid that I didn't have enough credibility as a coach. Like, who was I to go coach somebody else? I was still trying to figure out my eating. I like food raw. I hate cooking. I don't hate it, but I don't like buying things, preparing it, cutting it, cleaning it, and all that other stuff. If I can just, voila, and it comes out great, fine, whatever. But I would rather eat it raw. So people are like, these great recipes, and I'm like, no, I'm coming home, I'm throwing something on my plate, I'm fine as long as it's clean and it's green, it's protein and it's lean, and I'm fine. And you know, my husband honestly cooks a lot of our food in our house, so here I am, quick, easy way to, you know, do something, and you know, I'm not even the one cooking a lot of it. But come to find out, neither are half the people that are, you know, attracted to me. And I have that where people come to me now and they're like, but I really just don't like to cook. Oh, good, me neither. Raw is good, steam it for 3 seconds, pop it in, whatever. You can still eat clean and healthy and not have to be a master chef and try to count all of the different, you know, half containers of this and half containers of that. I'm like, 2 cups of mixed greens, I'm good to go. You know, 1 red cup of lean protein, you know, I'm now doing vegetarian, but I would, you know, grill up enough chicken for the week. And I'm like, I'm good with it. It can be bland. I'm totally cool. And come to find out, there are a lot of people that would rather just eat a hard-boiled egg than have to go through a whole meal, you know, prep of a gourmet food kind of menu. So at that point, I realized these are the people that I was attracting. But I still kind of thought that I was not there. And then more and more people were joining my challenge groups, and I was sharing personal development stuff, and I started opening up these challenge groups, and people were just coming to me wanting more of that, and they would ask me about what they could do. So I had acquired quite a few discount coaches with me, but I couldn't talk anybody into doing business thing either, because I didn't feel like I had business knowledge of it, and I didn't want to be a fraud. I didn't want to make people feel like, I didn't want to feel like I was scamming them into a, you know, quick, rich business scheme. So I could say, you know, my coach is a very successful coach and just was able to, you know, earn so much money. I'm not earning that. I wasn't earning much at all. I had some commission and a couple of cycle bonus checks, and it was a very small amount. But it kept growing, and I didn't give up. And over time, it kept growing. That's that whole compound effect. And then my best friend joined me. And when my best friend joined me, I realized that I needed to be a better coach for her, because she needed this. She needed a business out. She needed a way to make money and be independent. She was in a pretty rough relationship with her husband, who they'd been together since she was 12. And she was basically very controlled by the circumstances in her life, and I wanted her to know that she could have her own independence and find herself, and that she had a great gift to give back. So I started to buckle down and become a better coach, because I wanted something to give to her, and I wanted to be able to teach her, and I couldn't do that if I didn't do it for myself. So Team Cup came along, and I was like, that's it. I'm going to learn how to do this messaging. I'm going to take this vital behavior very seriously and inviting, and I began to invite every night as many people as I could. I tried a million different ways. I've used Team Z, I've used different systems, I've used the Power of 3, I've used 100 no's, I've used all sorts of things, and I keep using and I keep adapting, and I'm keeping up with just trying to get more and more ideas in it. But I've been consistently trying to message people every single day and invite them. So my best friend for a short time had to drop. She had to become inactive. And I had gained coaches on every single side. And then a couple of months ago, she actually joined again, because she had gained up enough confidence. She stuck with me in my challenge groups, and she gained enough confidence to, good night. He's my baby. She gained enough confidence to be able to buy her own car, and she was then able to consider leaving and becoming independent from her husband. And at that point, I gave her some money to start her Shakeology order again, just to get started. And she reactivated as a coach, and that's when I became Diamond. And amazingly, it was just before Summit, which was a huge celebration. But now she is working on her business. She's got the All Access. She's doing Shift Shop with me, and I have a team. My other best friend wound up joining, and we're supporting each other. But the biggest thing I think that I want people to understand is that the Team Cup became a big motivation for me because I realized I had to be a leader, and the person that I wanted to be a leader for was for my friend, but that there are other people out there that need us, and we don't know about it yet. We don't know them yet. But the same way that Mindy came on and shared in a way that inspired me, I want my life, my story, to inspire other people. And knowing it was my best friend right now, that she's the one that I want to help with this specific moment, made me realize that there were so many other future best friends that I also want to be able to help, and that when I work on myself and I get myself better and I do the things that it takes for me to be successful, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be forward. And the more that I grow and the more that I learn, the stronger I become and the more that I can share with other people. And to me, that's the power of becoming diamond. And that's the power of consistency and persistence. Am I still busy? Incredibly. I drive an hour plus to work every day. I work about 10 hours a day. I have a 6-year-old child, as you saw, and a 23-year-old who still lives at home and goes to college. I have a lot on my plate, but I take time to do this. I usually will sit down and start doing my messaging at like 9 o'clock at night after I put Selah to bed. I will do my posts first thing in the morning when I do my workouts. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning now to do my workouts. So I can get to work and share there, and I share my work life with people, and I invite them into knowing who I am and to being friends. And I engage with people everywhere I go, because every person that I meet has a value, and I've learned to honor them through my personal development, and I continue to reach out to them. Whether or not they're going to build my business, I want them to get my vibe. I want them to be inspired by me, and I want to practice inspiring other people by, reflecting that with everybody that I see. So I hope I didn't ramble too much. I know I tend to get excited about what I'm saying, but I think I covered everything in my notes, and I promise I did write it all down so that I would be tracked and stay focused. But if you have any kinds of thoughts or questions, or if this helped you at all, please let me know. Please give me a message or send me a message, and how I can continue to encourage you. But I want you to really know that you are valuable as a coach, and whether or not you've made diamond yet, it is in there for you. It is possible, not just possible, it's probable. It's just a matter of when. And you get to when you build momentum. So the more you do, the easier it is, just like our workouts. The more you share, the more you become comfortable with expressing yourself to others and becoming authentic. The more you learn who you are and enjoy discovering that. We're still learning. I'm still learning more and more about myself. And it's crazy that I'm almost 40 years old and I'm like, oh yeah, that's that deep down thing that I've always wanted to do, right? So the more that we do this, the more that we practice those vital behaviors, the closer we are to helping more people, and that's reflected in rank. But it's not about pursuing rank, and it's not about comparing ourselves. It's about growing ourselves, and it's about letting each other inspire each other and spur each other on. I have to often put on my blinders. I have to often not let myself get discouraged and think I should be here by now, because that jams me up and makes me take a longer time. But even when I do that, because that still happens, I have to figure out how to brush it off, and in time I do, personal development, and then I keep moving forward, and I keep reaching out to more and more people, and I keep sharing love, and I keep sharing inspiration, and I keep adding value. So adding value is key in my posts. I hope you get to a chance to go check out my page. If you do, it's open. Most of the stuff's public. And I would love to see yours, so let me know, tag me in something. But, as not perfect, but definitely growing, definitely getting better, and definitely loving to share all of the great hope. All right, guys, I hope that I've given you something to kind of grow from and to be inspired by too, because you guys inspire me, and I'm, again, so honored to be here. Thank you, and I wish you a wonderful night. Many blessings. All my sisters and any brothers that might be on here too. There could be some dudes, I know. This is a great journey to be on together. Have a great night. Bye.